Hey guys, there's Soft Al here, recording this on the weekend after the game and everything. Daisy's there sleeping on the bed at my brother's place. Uh, but I've been really thinking on this. I wanted to figure out exactly what's the next topic I wanted to talk about for my autism and me. And one of those has to be about emotions. Because I remember in the past, a lot of people always talking about basically, hey, kind of tone down your energy, kind of, you're up here, bring it down here. A lot of people say you don't got to cuss all the time. Well, it's kind of hard to do when you have essentially the mindset of a 14-year-old kid. And I think this is a good time to kind of talk about that. For autistic people, there is this emotional state that we have. Some could be easily depressed, some could be easily happy. It's a good example of this was a video a long time ago where a woman, I believe, if memory serves correctly, she actually saw a school of whales, I believe, or she was taken to the ocean side and was so emotionally overwhelmed with joy and happiness that she had to move her whole body, shake her hands. And I am like that. Many autistic people are like that. If we laugh, we laugh. If we cry, we cry. Our emotional state is true emotions. We, I especially, genuinely show my emotions. And how we view the world is we view the world through the lens of the mindset that we are born with. For me, it's that of a 14-year-old kid. I'm still excited. I'm still happy. I'm still able to just enjoy the wonders of this world that are shown to me. But at the same time, it is because of that emotional state that I am easily able to be touched, basically, in an emotional sense. If a good example here, if I'm reading something or I'm watching something that has a very emotional scene, some people will say, "Oh, that didn't really, you know, that didn't really make me cry." I do cry. I legitimately do cry. If I'm angry, I'm genuinely angry. If I'm enraged, I'm genuinely enraged. If I'm excited, I am excited. I will physically move my body and vocalize my emotions. If I'm worried for this happens a lot in airsoft as well. Like to those who have played airsoft with me, I will always check with them. I'll say sorry, or I will basically kind of go to them and say, "Hey, I'm sorry about that," or or I'll check on them and basically be like, "Hey, are you okay?" You can see this a lot of times in my airsoft content where you'll hear me sometimes say sorry, or are you okay, or we're good, and I'm gonna be a genuinely honest person towards my fellow players. It's why it's why I'm kind of happy and saddened at how honest I am in my emotions or my emotional states that are genuine at times. It's why I, I I don't know how to say this. I don't know how to vocalize this. I guess I could just use past examples of my emotional states and kind of talk about this. Back in 2024, I had an encounter at the crumb flea market where I was basically excited and did a dumb joke or used a dumb example, and I was confronted by someone who basically, from my perspective, was visibly trying to threaten me and intimidate me. This has a downside for us with autism because we have a state that we go to if we are faced with too much negative emotion. We will mentally go into a state that our mentality is basically at. For me, it was a scared child, essentially. If I am faced with too much negative emotion and I'm not able to get away and I feel I'm trapped, I will turn into a small child. I will start crying. I will start breaking down because I cannot process what is going on, why I'm being, why this is happening to me. It is that mentality, basically. It is that inability to process what is happening. And because of that, a lot of times, if I'm unable to process a certain emotion that is overwhelming me, I will break down crying. I will genuinely turn into a child who is scared, alone, and doesn't know why it's happening to him, why this emotion's happening to him. There is a lot of times where I will genuinely be depressed and I don't know why I'm depressed. There are a lot of times where I'm scared and I don't know why I'm scared. There are points in my life where, in high school even, where I was genuinely pushed and bullied and just felt alone to the point of I genuinely considered taking my own life. That's where my emotional state was at good points in my time. Obviously, I didn't, because I had a lot of good friends with me, or at least a small group of friends with me, who kept me from considering suicide. And that is something I think a lot of people need to look at, especially once you start seeing the physical signs. A lot of times people will, especially autistic people, will move their hands like this. They'll open and close their fist. They'll start fidgeting. They'll start looking around, trying to find exits, trying to get away from a situation. And this is my advice to you guys. If you see someone with autism or any form of disability that genuinely looks in distress and they don't want to be in that situation, help them get out. It is a big reason why a lot of us don't like huge crowds unless we feel safe. Emotionally speaking, if we genuinely know the area and we feel safe in that area, then we are okay with certain number of people, with certain large number of crowds. If we are not safe in that, if we do not feel safe in that area, if we are genuinely trying to find a way, looking around, our eyes darting around, moving our heads, trying to find exit, help that person out. Help us out to basically keep us from having a emotional breakdown, because genuinely our emotions are so high at that point that we cannot handle what is being presented to us. We can't process what is being presented to us. And I say process because, yes, we process our emotions in different ways. For me, it's verbal and physical, because I am physically emoting my emotions and I am verbally sharing what I am feeling. And that's just kind of how it is. I don't really have any more to say outside of, well, that's about it. Like, I have nothing else to say on the subject matter outside of just know people, understand us, try and understand what autism does for us in our emotional state. Some of us could be the most happiest people in the world, never have a care in the world. Others could be so easily depressed that they might get pushed to taking their own lives. Others could just be, I hate to say it, others could be so emotionally deaf that they don't know how to express themselves. That is something I think a lot of people need to know and understand. Emotions, when it comes to autism, is a very, at times, very simplistic and very easy to understand, and other times very hard and very confusing to understand. I'm just rambling by this point, but you get what I'm trying to say. And I hope this video does actually kind of help you understand how emotions are kind of handled by autistic people. Or at least those of you with autism who understands what I'm talking about, you can share your own experiences in the comments section down below. Try and help people understand how we handle our emotions and how we process our emotions. But until then, ladies and gentlemen, I shall see you all in the next Autism and Me video. If you have a question about autistic people, or at least me personally, how my autism is and how I have handled it, because I grew up from 94 all the way up to now, so I was in that era where autism wasn't really understood. So if you have any questions about that, sound off in the comments section. I might make a video about it. Till then, ladies and gentlemen, I'll see you in the next video. Later.